So we've had some happy moments and some sad moments, I guess, with the people. And I guess the final thing I can tell you about the staff is it's for me it's been a real honor to have got to meet them.
Good. So how do you think working at this store prepares the staff for life afterwards?
Well, they certainly have worked for one of the most difficult employers they'll ever work for. I think that what we've done, or what we try to do, is let people be themselves and draw on their own strong skills, I guess. Somebody told me years ago when I started in a job, they said, just come in and hone your craft, do what you do best. And I've always sort of kept that page in my book, is that these people are young, dynamic. They have certain personality traits that we can really build upon. So from my standpoint, we draw that energy, and I guess they get a chance to learn some skills. They get to learn some people skills. Certainly retail and wholesale sales, which we do both of, can be pretty challenging. I mean, the customer is a pretty demanding creature in this day and age, so it certainly gives them the ability to learn how to manage people, how to manage difficult situations, and I think those are skills that we can all use in any job that we've ever gone to.
Well, when I started there, I was pretty shy and kind of didn't think, but it kind of brings you out working with customers and interacting with people. I started there when I was in high school, so now it's kind of helped guide me to the person I am now.
While I was working at Kingston Paint, I really liked the atmosphere. The staff were great, and we really got to know each other really well because it was a pretty small staff. I also really liked getting to know about home decor and a new area that I didn't know very much about.
I work mostly with the contractors, so I mix paint, unload paint, advise people on what they should use when repainting, a little bit of blinds. I help people with blinds. So just multiple jobs. It's not one specific job that we do there.
I think the thing I liked most was the relationship that I had with my coworkers. It was an unusual place to work. I guess in the respect that everybody that worked there got along so well, and it's so hard to find a job where everybody gets along, and you know those people are there for you inside of work and outside of work, and you'd plan your weekends with the same people that you worked with. So it makes your job a lot more enjoyable to go somewhere where you like everybody that you're working with, since you spend so much time with those people.
When I first got hired, it was to kind of cover for Mike Crafter Sr. when he had a heart attack. So I kind of went in just to stock shelves and unload trucks and kind of help here and there. But as I kind of moved on through my years there, I started helping with the customers, and at the end I kind of did everything. Still stock shelves, unloaded trucks, help customers, help the contractors.
Just sort of it really has like a family atmosphere here. Like everybody knows each other really well. You spend more time with the people you work with than you do your own family, so you get to know everyone really well. And just the way I was treated, the way the staff is here, like you build friendships that last and like don't necessarily end when your employment does. Like whenever there's a Christmas party, all staff is always invited back, and so everybody keeps in touch that way. When I'm in town, I try and get by the paint store for a little bit to see the people I used to work with, so you really build lasting friendships, and that's what I miss the most about it.
My name is Bobby Harrington, and I've been driving race cars for 11 years, and we've had Kingston Paint as a sponsor right from the beginning.
One day, I got a call from this lady that was just frantic because she'd bought the wrong color of paint, and typically we get calls like that all the time. But this one, she said she wanted it more like a coffee color, more coffee than she had, coffee in her mind. And I'm the type of guy, like, I mean, she went into explaining how she wanted the color to look, and I mean, if you've ever tried to explain a color over the phone, it's next to impossible. You can't do it. And I'm the type of guy that likes to have, these guys could tell you, I like to have fun every now and then. So I played along, and I said, okay, you want it to look like coffee? And she said, yeah. And I said, okay, 1 cream or 2. And she didn't realize what I had said, and she kept going. She says, well, I guess it would have to be 2. And she goes, how much coffee do I have to add to get it to look like that? And I said, well, you don't want to put any coffee in your paint. I said, it would ruin it. Well, then she got really mad. She said, you mean I've been sitting here putting all this coffee in my paint and it's not going to turn to that color? So I was blown away.
Within the last couple of years, I've been able to do a couple of really neat projects with Kingston Paint and Decorating. We filmed a design show called Design Now, and I was able to transform 3 different spaces on the show using not only paint and window treatments, but we were able to really redecorate the space, and that was a lot of fun to do, and we had great results from it. I've also filmed some design segments for Kojako, where we answered design questions on air and gave people a lot of design and decorating tips.
Well, besides obviously selling people paint, I help people choose their colors, I help people solve their problems, so if their paint's peeling, their deck stain is coming off, help people with all those sorts of general problems.
Basically, right now with Kingston Paint, it's an advertising deal, and like I said, it's more because Hal's a fan of racing and a family friend of ours, and I think it's a deal that helps both out, us financially and him just because he likes to be involved.
Mostly it was like the stuff actually outside of work, like Hal at Christmas time and in the summer and stuff. He'd always throw parties for all the staff, and you'd go, and it was always a good time. You always get together and reminisce about stuff. Or even still, I've worked there in probably 8 years, and I still, if I can make it, I still go to all the staff functions. I still get invited, all that kind of stuff.
He's an interesting guy. He was hired when the chap I mentioned, Mike, first got sick, and Tim is the nephew of one of our commercial customers, and that's how I came to know Tim. His uncle said, you look like you're really short-handed, and I said, yeah, and he said, I have a young nephew who has no experience, but he's a good, strong back, and he'd be willing to work. And that's where we met Tim, and I think he was maybe 16 when he started the store, and he worked there through his high school years and through his college years, and he's gone on to a pretty good job with Ontario Hydro. And we did get to watch him grow up. He started as this little shy little boy to somebody who became a pretty neat individual. A bit of a Tim story. He was in college, and he was doing his WIMIS training. And the college professor asked, does anybody have a job where WIMIS would come in? And of course, we work with a lot of hazardous chemicals. And so he's telling his professor the story about working with hazardous chemicals and the fumes. And the professor said, well, what happens when you're overcome with the fumes? And Tim said, Hal tells me to work a little faster. So it was a joke, but that was sort of the evolution of this young, when we saw him, this little shy guy that wouldn't have said much at all, who became a bit of a character. He got to know the contractors real well, and he became a real asset to the business. Again, you know, the upside of the young people is that you get the energy. You know they're going to leave someday, but we've always believed that energy that they bring, even for a brief time, is well worth it. So. And we've had a lot of Tim stories. There's another chap by the name of Scott Green. Scott is a police officer in Durham, and he did the same thing. He worked. He joined us when he was in university, got his degree in economics from Queen's, and then went to St. Lawrence College and did his Police Foundations program, and stayed on while he was waiting to get a job with the Durham Police. So I think total years with us, he was probably with us for 7 or 8 years while he was going to school. So we've been pretty fortunate.
The big thing here is you're always interacting with people, and I think that has a carryover to any sort of job you do. But just the different types of people you deal with in a day here, there's, like, you deal with the painting contractors who you have to deal with in a completely different way than you would the elderly woman who comes in to buy wallpaper. And so just sort of learning how to relate to all different types of people really has a huge carryover into what I do now.